I'm not sure if you guys know, but a new AI just came out called DeepSeek that is faster, better, and stronger than ChatGPT. And it has the potential to completely revolutionize your student experience. And the scary thing is, if you don't take advantage of it now, you could be left behind. Hi, my name is Andrew, and in 2024, I managed to rank amongst the top 0.1% of students in my state. And I don't say that to brag or anything like that, but rather I just want to show you guys that all the information I'm trying to supply you guys with is coming from a credible source and coming from a guy who's been there and done it all before. Now, I apologize a little bit for the quality of this video. I'm currently overseas and it is bloody cold, as you can see. So we don't have the studio lighting right here, but hopefully the quality of the video still stands. Now, just before we get into it, make sure you go ahead and subscribe because we're a pretty small channel here. We're trying to grow a lot and I'm really trying to give as much information as possible to help you guys now and throughout the future. So make sure to go ahead and subscribe and join this little community. So you might have heard recently on the news, on social media, about this new form of AI called DeepSeek AI. And the reason there's so much craze about it is because it's come as a really big rival to ChatGPT, which you might be already familiar with and you're probably using already. But one of the reasons that it's caused such a big uproar, whether that's in the stock market or in broader application in education or industry, it has the ability to rival ChatGPT's paid subscription model AI. And so basically with DeepSeek, you're able to access something for free that with ChatGPT, you'd otherwise have to pay $200 a month for, which is absolutely crazy. Another reason is that it's able to be run locally on your device. And so the difference between ChatGPT is that, for example, with ChatGPT, you go on the app or you go on the website and basically it's run through a server. So they have the ability to track your data, all that type of thing. And it's also slower and the servers can break down if too many people are using them. However, the option with DeepSeek AI is so powerful because you're able to run it locally on your device. But essentially what that means is you are able to install the AI itself onto your laptop, onto your PC. And then from there, you are able to run it without internet, without Chinese servers, tracking your personal data. And you're able to do that from the comfort of your own laptop, which is absolutely crazy. And so, for example, I'm currently in a different country and I don't have access to Wi-Fi all the time, but I have access to AI all the time simply because of the fact that I've installed it on my computer and I can run it offline. Okay, so that's just a little bit of backstory on the contextual situation of DeepSeek AI. But before we get into the actual nitty-gritties of how we can use this as a student, I want to give a couple of disclaimers first. The first thing I'd like to say is that you can't fully copy paste the stuff that the AI tells you to. One, because it's possible that the information isn't 100% reliable. And second, because it could leave you prone to plagiarism. So if you're directly copy pasting something from DeepSeek AI, it can be flagged from your university or your high school or whatever institution you're currently in as copying something and therefore being plagiarized. So the main way that we're going to be using DeepSeek in this video at least is using it as sort of a skeleton and then you have the job of putting the meat on the bones after. So really just trying to enhance your student experience, not define and carry you the whole way. In my opinion, one of the biggest use cases of DeepSeek AI, now that it's more powerful and more comprehensive, is that it's able to give you instant and detailed feedback on work. And so I've been in this situation before. I've been waiting ages for my teacher to respond to me about certain work, or maybe it's pretty late at night and I don't want to bother people by asking them for solutions or help on things. And so whether it's, for example, an essay or a really complicated math question, and you want solution or detailed instant feedback on the work that you've done, DeepSeek AI, or any form of AI at least, is one of the best things that you can do for yourself to give yourself an instant sort of reflection on the work that you've done and to see what improvements could be made and also what possible strengths that you have to the work that you've submitted. I've used this personally so far for math questions. And so I take, for example, a really complicated math question that I don't know the complete solutions to. Maybe I have an answer that my teacher has provided me with, but I don't have the step-by-step solutions. And so I might input into DeepSeek AI the question and ask for step-to-step detailed solutions of how I'm going to get to the eventual answer. And so first of all, I'd probably check the answer that they give with the answer that my teacher's provided, just to see that the AI has done the question correctly. And then after that, I'm able to see every single step and mark in a really concise fashion. In terms of marking essays, on the other hand, I think it's great for things such as grammar. It really helps you a lot with structure and general sort of articulation and flow. But something that I'd be a little bit more cautious about is the actual quality of writing itself and the sort of ideas that you talk about in your essay. Because I feel as if, as advanced as DeepSeek AI might be, there can be a really big disparity between what your specific curriculum is looking for. Let's say like, I don't know, AP, or for example, in my case, VCE. The essay frameworks that they look for can be quite different to what DeepSeek AI would sort of regard as perfect or really good. So I would refrain from asking for specific marks, like, you know, give me a percentage out of 100 on how good this essay is, but rather actual tangible feedback that you can use to go ahead and improve your essay in the future, and then go and try and get a mark from a teacher or someone else who's a little bit more credible. Okay, I know you guys are waiting for it. So the second thing is helping a lot with writing essays. And I feel like this is one of the biggest hacks that AI has offered to the student experience. It's something that I never got to experience until the end of my high school experience. And I feel as if my cohort and my peers had access to AI since we were in like year 7, it would have been a completely different experience. And so now that this AI stuff is still new, you've got to take advantage of it, especially, you know, if you're at that younger age level. But regardless of where you're at, I still think it's going to be really, really useful. And so for essays, I think the best way to go about it is to ask it, first of all, to give you an essay template. And so whether that might be essay plans with sort of dot points about conceptual ideas that you might talk about within your essay, or certain structured frameworks that might give you the sort of skeleton before you put the meat on the bones, as I was previously saying. Now, you can compare that with your own essay plans that you've conjured up already, just to see what gaps you might have in your thinking, and perhaps what ideas that you might want to add to your essay plan before you start writing. The next thing I do is probably ask DeepSeek AI to write me an exemplar essay or a sample essay with the structure that they have provided you, or the refined structure that you give to them. And so essentially you let them put the meat on the bones for you, and you have a look at how they do it. And so this is where you make a lot of the critical judgment yourself. I think the full essays that ChatGPT and DeepSeek AI provide to you should only be used for observatory purposes. And so what I mean by that is it gives you a rough idea of how you might write your essay yourself. But when it comes to actually writing the essay, and no matter how boring it sounds, I still recommend you to write it yourself, but really just use the stuff that AI gives you as a reference point. And so you're able to, you know, sprinkle the magic dust on whatever stuff you've already got. I think that's the best way that you can add a human touch to what might be a really robotic sounding DeepSeek AI essay. And that's also going to help you a lot more with avoiding plagiarism and being able to, for example, conduct proper citation. On the point of citation, you can actually ask DeepSeek AI to give you the citation and the sources of the things that they use in their exemplar essays or their essay plans. And so this is going to save you the trouble of scouring the internet yourself to look for sources and, you know, all of that jazz. One of my personal favorite use cases of DeepSeek AI, at least, is summarizing. And so in a first case scenario, I'd say summarizing notes. I know personally my notes can be super messy. And so whether that's, you know, compiling notes from my lectures, compiling notes from classes, compiling notes from textbooks, it can often get really messy and tangled up. And so essentially what you can ask a DeepSeek AI to do is to do the labor for you, or to do the boring work for you. And so that's to take all the information, the scrambled information that you've got, and compile it into a concise, summarized set of notes that is going to let you easily revise for your upcoming assessments, tests, exams, anything like that. Another thing the AI can do for you is that when you're, for example, reading a textbook and it's just crazy long, you can't be bothered, you need to cram it as fast as you can literally just ask the AI to summarize it into main points for you. And so by doing so, it's going to be cutting down the time that you spend to study or learn a new concept, but also breaking it down into more concise and easier to understand points. Now, there's another powerful learning tool that I absolutely love using AI for. And you may have heard of something called active recall. And so that's essentially pulling information out of your brain that you previously learned to consolidate the knowledge now and to solidify it within your own understanding. The way that AI, or DeepSeek AI in particular, can enhance this is that essentially you're able to generate questions with the AI. And so if you take a particular concept or you take a particular part of a subject, you put it into AI and you ask for the AI to mold it into the form of a question. That's going to allow you to build up a question bank instead of a notes bank. And the power of that is that instead of just rereading over your notes, you're going to be able to revisit a worksheet which has questions that are going to help you achieve active recall with the content that you've learned. I'll go into this in a bit more detail on a future video, but this is something that I just really wanted to tell you guys about because I think it's a really powerful learning tool. And it's something that I had to do manually before, create my own questions manually before. But now that you have DeepSeek AI, you can literally put in the content and ask it to convert it into question form, which is absolutely crazy. Now, there's so many other uses of DeepSeek AI, and feel free to put them down in the comment section down below. But one that really came to mind for me is language. And I was studying language, Chinese in particular, at a time when AI simply just wasn't a thing. And I look back now and I think, how bloody lucky are you guys now that you have access to tools like DeepSeek AI when learning a language? It's absolutely crazy. I remember, translating things, writing essays and doing reading comprehension and listening. I had to do that shit manually. I had to do all of that stuff like an old school way, all right? But you guys have access to AI, which is able to do that immediately for you. It's able to help you learn it faster. It's able to translate stuff accurately on the spot for you. It can write essays for you so that you can learn, essay structures and how to construct sentences, with a different language. And I feel like it's an absolute hack. So if you guys are doing a language of any sort, you're learning any sort of new language, DeepSeek AI is actually a hack. So yeah. And it's also really worth noting that if you're not able to install it locally, you can definitely still use it online, literally just going on the DeepSeek website. The only problem that I ran into is because so many people are using them, the servers can get a little bit busy, which is why I personally installed it locally. But it's definitely still possible to access online. And honestly, worst comes to worst, if you can't, I don't know, if you run into many problems with it, just go back to ChatGPT. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it and I hope you found it really useful. I personally found, this DeepSeek thing super interesting. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below and follow along for more videos.